Tonight's story isn't about monsters hiding in closets. It's not about ghosts that knock once and vanish, or whispers from walls no one built. This story begins with a simple game, one passed down through playground whispers, scribbled into the back pages of children's notebooks, the kind of rule-bound dare no adult remembers starting. On one ordinary evening, a young woman named Emma stepped into a house that wasn't hers, to watch a child that wasn't hers, and agreed to a set of rules that were never meant for grown-ups. What she didn't know was that this game doesn't end at bedtime, and if you lose, you never leave. Before this hour is over, you'll understand why no one ever walks away from the bedtime game. Welcome to Dark Nightmare Memory, where each story we share walks a thin line between fear and fascination. If you find yourself drawn to tales that blur the boundary between reality and the unexplainable, if you stay up wondering what you might hear when the house goes quiet, then you're in the right place. Emma was 24, a nursing student saving up for her board exams. She took weekend babysitting gigs across town. She was quiet, careful, the kind of person who wrote thank you notes even when she didn't get the job. The Hendersons lived on the edge of town, one of those older homes where the windows never quite closed right, and the wood floor whispered beneath every step. They weren't strangers to Emma. She'd watched little Noah a few times before. He was 4 now, shy, liked dinosaurs, and those glow-in-the-dark star stickers on his ceiling. That night, a Friday, was wet with late spring rain. The kind that taps the window just hard enough to remind you that you're alone. Emma wore her navy hoodie, her hair pulled back, and earbuds in as she approached the house. The front light flickered once before staying on. The screen door creaked open too easily. Mrs. Henderson met her with a distracted smile, already dressed for the gala. Mr. Henderson was adjusting his tie in the mirror. Everything felt normal, if a little rushed. The kind of rushed that comes with guilt for leaving your child behind on a stormy night. Emma walked into the house and set her bag down beside the couch. She looked at the hallway. The hallway looked back. It started as any other night. Emma made Noah his warm milk, just the way he liked it. 2 drops of honey, a dash of cinnamon. They sat on the carpet while he built a tower out of wooden blocks. Every few minutes, he'd look down the hallway. Emma noticed it, but didn't ask. "Do you want to read your dinosaur book?" she asked. Noah hesitated. Then he whispered, "Let's play the bedtime game first." She laughed, assuming it was something from school. "Okay, how do we play?" Noah's voice dropped low. "You hide, and I count. But if the Nightman finds you before I do, you have to stay." Emma raised an eyebrow, amused and a little thrown. "What happens if I win?" He stared at her. "Nobody wins." She played along anyway. How could she not? He was 4. Noah closed his eyes and started counting backwards from 10, 10, 9, 8. Emma slipped down the hallway, half smiling, shoes off, moving as quietly as she could. But the deeper she went, the more the light seemed to dim behind her. One door creaked slightly open. Noah's bedroom, stars on the ceiling, toys neatly placed, except the bed was already rumpled, like someone had just been lying there. She moved to the guest room and crouched behind the rocking chair. From the hallway, she could still hear Noah's voice. 5, 4, then silence. A cold silence. Emma waited. Minutes passed. Nothing. She peeked out. The hallway was still. The shadows were longer than she remembered. She stood, hesitated, then turned toward the living room. But now the blocks on the carpet were gone. The cup of milk was on the floor. The front door was wide open. Emma stepped outside. The street was empty. No cars, no wind, just the sound of her own breath, and that door creaking faintly behind her. "Noah?" she called out, her voice lost in the quiet. Nothing. She ran to the yard. No footprints, no toys left outside, just a child's jacket draped on the fence, like someone hung it there, deliberately. She rushed back in. and locked the door, called out again. Still nothing. Then she heard it, a soft knock, from inside the house. Emma turned toward the hallway. The knock again. She followed the sound to Noah's closet. The door was shut. Slowly, she opened it. Nothing inside but shoes, and a note, a single folded piece of paper, tucked in one sneaker, written in a child's messy scrawl. "You're not playing right." Emma froze. Her heart pounded, her hands trembled. She stepped back and bumped into something. She spun. Nothing there. Just then, the baby monitor on the shelf clicked on. Static. Then she's in the wrong room again. A child's voice. But it wasn't Noah's. Emma backed into the hallway. A door at the far end, one she hadn't noticed before, was now slightly open. Inside a guest room, but with 2 beds, both made perfectly, and between them, a dusty dresser. On it framed photos of children she didn't recognize. One of the photos had been scribbled over in crayon, the face scratched out violently. Beneath it, another note. "Don't hide in the same place twice." At 25 minutes in, she began searching frantically, room to room, calling Noah's name. The rooms kept changing. The layout didn't match what she remembered. The bathroom mirror reflected a hallway behind her that wasn't really there. Finally, she stopped, in the kitchen. Inside, 1 glass of milk, half empty, and a 3rd note. "You're almost out of time." She dropped the note. "You're almost out of time." Emma backed away from the fridge, her breathing sharp, fast. Her voice cracked as she whispered Noah's name again, and then she heard it. A laugh, a child's laugh, from behind the basement door. The door hadn't been there earlier. She stood frozen. That laugh again. Closer now. Louder. The doorknob twitched. Then silence. Emma stepped forward. Hand out. Turned the knob. The basement stairs descended into complete darkness. She took 1 step, then another. At the bottom, the air was colder, heavier. The floor beneath her feet, sticky. A flashlight clicked on by itself from a nearby shelf. She grabbed it. There were drawings on the wall. Childish, frantic games, rules, names. Then she saw Noah, curled in the corner, eyes wide, whispering to himself. "I didn't want to play anymore, but they said I had to. They said it was your turn now." Emma knelt. "Who said that?" she asked. He pointed to the wall, written in red crayon. "If you lose, you stay forever." The flashlight flickered. Footsteps behind them. Emma turned, but no one was there. She turned back. Noah was gone. In his place, a new note. "Last round, ready or not." Then from upstairs, every door in the house slamming shut at once. Emma sprinted up the stairs. The front door gone. Walls shifting. The hallway endless. Every photo frame on the wall had her face now. Her own face, but different. Pale, cold, blank eyes. In one of them, her mouth moved. "Your turn," it said. Emma staggered backward. The picture frame still whispered, "Your turn." She turned and ran, but the hallway had changed. There were no rooms anymore, no stairs, no exit, only doors, lined up endlessly, each one marked with a child's name. One door was slightly open. Hers, on it, in crayon again. Emma, final round. She didn't want to go in, but something pushed her. Inside, a small twin bed, a ticking metronome, a tape recorder. She pressed play. The voice, hers, "Lay down, close your eyes, count to 10. If you fall asleep, you lose." She stepped away, voice trembling. "No, I didn't record this." But the door shut behind her. The bed was no longer empty. A shadow, shaped like her, lying still. As she stared, the metronome clicked louder, then silence. The power cut. When the lights came back, Emma was gone. By the time the clock struck midnight, the house had fallen silent again. No more ticking, no more laughter. just a stillness that felt wrong. Late that Sunday evening, Mr. and Mrs. Henderson pulled into their driveway, arms full of shopping bags, oblivious to what had unfolded behind their closed doors. The front hall was silent. Emma's jacket still hung by the coat rack. Her bag lay open on the hallway bench. In Noah's room, the crib lay empty. The mobile spun slowly under its own weight. On the floor, Emma's phone lit up with a missed call notification from Mom. In the kitchen, a half-finished cup of milk sat on the counter. A folded note pinned beneath the fridge magnet read, "Game over." They called the police. Investigators combed every room, but found no sign of Emma or of Noah. No footprints, no evidence of forced entry. Neighbors later reported hearing a single distant knock at midnight. Then nothing. Weeks passed. The Hendersons couldn't face the empty hallways any longer. They sold the house. A for rent sign went up, and soon, a new family moved in. A month later, a new babysitter arrives. She's greeted by a polite family, 2 well-behaved kids. The parents were heading out for a short 2-day getaway, just the 2 of them, no kids. That night, as she tucks the younger one into bed, he says something strange. "Can we play the bedtime game?" She smiles, not understanding. "What's that?" He shrugs. "It's easy. You just count to 10, and then you run. A child's game. Simple, innocent, or so it seemed. But when the rules are twisted, when the stakes are set in darkness, it's a game no one truly wins. Emma's disappearance is more than a mystery. It's a warning. Something hides behind closed doors, in empty rooms, in childhood games. And once you've played, you can never forget, because there's always a price to pay. And that price, it's your soul. Tonight's story isn't the first, and it won't be the last. But next week, we'll look deeper into another eerie mystery. A midnight knock you should never answer. So don't forget to subscribe. Don't let the shadows pull you in. And remember, the game's never truly over. Keep watching, stay safe, and as always, share your thoughts with me in the comments below. If you've ever encountered something unexplainable, I want to hear about it. See you next time on Dark Nightmare Memories. Subscribe.